Okay, so tell me, why are you looking for support?
Well, a lot of things have occurred in my life, like the past 2, 3 years. And so I recently just graduated from college. So like I'm home right now. Thank you. Home right now and then I'll go back. But that's even me going back is crazy because of like everything that has happened the past like 2 school years. And like there's just been so much that like now like I literally can't feel like anything. Like my body, like I've been describing how I feel as numb, but like I feel like I'm just I'm like the next step from numb. Like I don't know. I just want to I don't know get back to like what get back to like feeling Sy'miah. And I just haven't felt her in a very long time. So yeah.
And that's happened since the last 2 years.
What did you say?
And that's, you haven't felt like yourself in the last 2 years.
Yeah. And it's definitely like I would say like gotten worse, obviously due to like what has, occurred in different time spans and within that 2 years. Um and yeah, I just like my current state is just it's just weird. Like I can't explain it, but I'm just kind of like I know I need to be doing something like my major psychology, like I'm now starting my master's in school counseling. So like I'm aware of, like, hey, maybe it's time to start figuring out things. And like obviously it's important. So yeah.
So tell me, tell me, what is it? You know what it is, but you don't want to say it. So go
Oh,
ahead.
it's just crazy. Okay, so sophomore year for me, um, a football player basically took advantage of me one night. And that whole school year, I really only told like my closest friends and I dealt with it. Like I was talking to a counselor then at the school and it was fine. Like I was handling it. And then I ended up telling a girl at school. Turns out, like who I thought was my friend, turns out she was, you know, having sex with him that whole time. Um, Told him about like what I said and basically like there was false accusations put on me and all types of things my junior year. And then when I went to school this year, I found out that the time period when he like came to my house to apologize for what went down, he recorded it and I didn't know. And he's been still to this day telling people I have this recording that proves that she made it up, that she was trying to ruin my whole football career and all that. And it's just crazy because I mean I know for a fact that whatever the recording is, like there's nothing to prove anything. Like I remember that conversation from like the time it started to the time it ended. And
And if
it's
anything, him apologizing for it actually says that he is feels guilty for doing something.
right. Yeah. So it's just crazy. And mind you, no one has ever heard the recording. So and I didn't even find out
Sorry that you
any of
went through
that. Yeah, it's just well, and then so I thought that was gonna be the worst thing my college career. Well, I run track, um, and every year we have a party. And this this past December, this is all my senior year. So I find out about the whole recording and all that when senior year started. And then December we had the track like big formal party. Well, one of my teammates, he brought his 27-year-old cousin. And I met him like twice prior. It's a white guy. he's nice, whatever. Well, turns out this is the first time in my life where I black out. Um, and it's crazy because of the football situation, I haven't really enjoyed myself like in social events when it comes to drinking. Like I'm always stopping way early, or I'm just not getting as fucked up as my friends. Well, formal, I was like, okay, senior year, like we're just gonna go balls to walls. End up blacking out pretty early, and turns out that um I was blacked out, and that guy's cousin, 27-year-old dude.
That something was put into you to drink or something?
I don't think so. Cause I mean, I remember like taking shots, like going in. Like it was crazy.
But even
And
with that making you black out, you've never blacked out from alcohol before, right?
right, yeah.
And a lot of times when people do black out, it's because their drink has been
Hmm.
tampered with.
Yeah. Which I mean, I never really considered that. I mean, it's a possibility because so much going on. Well, turns out that me and that guy did sexual things outside. I like during that I was not like I didn't even
I remember it.
no, like I don't remember anything. Well, people on my team saw, didn't do anything about it. Um and it was just that whole situation is really like I don't like
So they
made me.
saw this man taking advantage of you and didn't help you.
Mhm. And then in April, I find out, literally 2 months ago, that a guy that used to be on the team that was there, he recorded things. And yeah, so that's just, yeah, the big, terrible moments of my college career. And so basically, this past semester, I've been around my teammates because I mean, I have to go to practice, got to go to meets, like, and that has been very challenging because like
So they all blame it on you and you were violated.
some do, some don't. And then that's another thing. Like I lived with two girls. One of them is here right now, my best friend, and then the other girl, I find out that she was blaming me for like what happened, and yeah, it's just a terrible situation.
It really is. And I am so sorry that you went through that. I'm sorry that you're going through it. You're going through it still.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that you're going through that.
yeah,
Like it is a serious rape culture in
mhm,
college.
mhm,
And you're not the only one. Even out of
yeah,
the people that know and they seen and they witnessed and didn't do anything, I'm sure they feel bad about it. And I'm
mhm,
sure, or they may be somebody also who has experienced that abuse as a woman and or a man,
yeah,
and nobody came to their aid either. So they think that this is how it is.
yeah, yeah. The next day after that, the next night after formal, I I allowed the guy to like come over, and he like apologized to me. He was like, at first he was trying to say, well, I didn't know, like, because we were having full conversations and but he was like, at the end of the day, like I should have been man enough to not have took things that far, allow things to go this and that way, because at first he was trying to tell people that I was not aggressor, but the no, like I want this, blah, blah, blah.
The aggressor. Mhm.
And so he did end up apologizing. Like I could tell he felt bad because he was literally on the verge of tears. Um, but I haven't seen him since. And then from that point on, like some guy teammates of mine, like told me their stories, like how they could relate, and like they felt terrible, like that they didn't even know that was happening. And I don't know, like I had a solid core of people who checked on me every day, did what a friend was supposed to do, acknowledge where they went wrong, which I appreciated, but still, I mean, it's just been hard because that doesn't go away.
And even the guys apologizing doesn't give the excuse of it happening.
Yeah.
And also doesn't mean that you can't feel how you feel about it.
Yeah. It's true. I think that's what I've been like struggling with because I mean, like some days I'm fine, some days I'm not. And like, I don't know. That was just very traumatizing. And like my body was even traumatized.
I bet.
So it's just been weird.
And lonely.
Yeah. Cause I can't tell my family. I mean, I told my aunt, my uncle, and I briefly tried to tell my dad bits and pieces, and then he got pissed off because he's like, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done talking to you. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for your parents.
yeah.
Sometimes we have to give grace to our parents because imagine if your child came to you,
Oh yeah, I know.
you know what I mean? Like you would be like, hold up, let's look at this person, you know.
And I told myself that I'm like, at the end of the day, he's looking at it from a father's lens. So like I'm not upset, but yeah.
So tell me, at the beginning you said that you just feel beyond numb. What does that mean?
I literally just like when I graduated, like I'm first in my family to graduate college.
Congratulations.
Like, thank you.
I'm the first too.
Oh, yay. But like
congratulations. That's a good thing.
It is. Like that is huge. I've always wanted to do it. Like, you know. But even during that, like I mean, I woke up, I cried a little bit because like I just thought about all the things I had to get through to, you know, and you know, whatever. But like I don't know. I just feel like I just don't feel anything. Like even when I'm talking to guys now, like it's just not the same. Even when I'm like with my family, it's just not the same. Like I just feel like I'm like a robot, kind of. That's how I would explain it.
Okay, so are you open to my feedback?
Hmm?
Are you open to feedback? I know it's a weird question, but I always ask it so people are like,
yeah. No,
yeah,
I think it's
let me know because I'm supposed to listen to you. So that's why I say, okay, now are you open to what I have to say?
Oh, I am.
I think it's just so, I mean, here's the deal. You were violated, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how many drinks you had. It doesn't matter where you were. It doesn't matter what you wore. It doesn't matter what you said to them. It doesn't matter. And if they didn't know that, if they didn't feel that they did something wrong, they wouldn't have apologized to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want that to be super clear. And your feelings about it are valid. It's almost like you had to, in a sense, grieve that, like an innocence, or even your control of your own body, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying, how does that make you feel? What's coming up for you?
I mean, it like I don't know. I be telling myself that. So it's like I in my brain, yeah, I know what you're saying, like, I understand, but I just feel like maybe, like, I don't know, I just feel like that's kinda like a record I keep telling in my head, but maybe body isn't really.
You don't believe it.
Yeah, and I guess it's just because of, like, all the stuff that has been said, and obviously it doesn't matter, like, what people say, especially those who don't know me, like, I truly understand that, but, like, I just don't know why I get so not even caught up, but, like, why do I let that bother me or but I like to please people. I mean, I've had to do it since, little kid, like,
Mhm.
so I just know I need to, like, unwork, like, some patterns I don't know. But I mean, it makes me feel, like, relieved, but, mm,
A people pleaser and experiencing the abuse, because it was sexual abuse that you
mhm,
experienced, that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough.
yeah.
There's a lot of layers to this.
It is, and that's why I'm like, I need to be talking to somebody to figure this out because clearly I can't do it on my own, and that's fine.
And you shouldn't. And you
Yeah,
shouldn't.
yeah. So,
And you shouldn't have.
yeah.
There are layers to this. First of all, there was you're thinking that you're having a good time and you were taken advantage of. So then there's that. That's one thing. Then you have the betrayal of the friends who didn't check on you at that time to see what was going on, right? Who loves you, who has your back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's very telling, right?
Mhm.
These people can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, when you needed them in your time of need, they weren't there.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to be mad. Is any of this like validating some of the feelings that you've had
Yeah.
and that you have?
Yeah.
Yes, it's freeing, right?
Mhm.
Because instead of you wanting, I feel the Holy Ghost. Instead of you wanting, like you want to be like, because it's the people pleaser thing, right? Oh, well, they gave me an apology. Oh, well, they said they should have did this. And that's fine, but that doesn't mean that you can't be angry with them
Yeah.
for not meeting your need, right? So now you know, oh, well, none of you guys are my ride or die because my ride or die, regardless of what you say, would have been there, would have
Yeah.
said, what are you doing, girl? Come here.
Yeah.
hmm So then maybe, it's time in your life where you have to evaluate who is in your corner, really, really.
Mhm.
And that's okay. Now that you've experienced this, you know what you need and the kind of people you need in your corner. What's coming up for you now? Talk to me.
Um, I guess yeah, like I don't know, it kind of like green or the time period where it was a short time period where I was like on a good little path, like of feeling better. And part of that was because like I told myself the things that like literally you just said, and I was really like understanding and not blaming myself for anything. So it's kind of like, see, like you knew like what to tell yourself in those moments, like you're not crazy.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. It's confirmation. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what's coming up right now. And I mean, it's still like, it's just sad. Like, I don't know. Like, and I think like,
Have you allowed yourself to just like ball it out?
no. I mean, like, I've cried different. I cried obviously when all of it went down. But that's another thing. Like, I don't really, like, I know for a fact there's a lot in here, just with like everything. And
Have a lot of emotions. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, like a lot of emotions. And um, I don't really release my emotions, I guess. Like, it just takes me a minute. Like, I really just take forever to process. But then it's like, okay, you take this period of time to process, but you're not even letting out or processing.
Mm,
So yeah, I don't know.
no, that's valid. You said right there, like that's an answer that you have to release. So how have you released in the past
Uh,
in a healthy way?
yeah, that's, I don't know. It really hasn't been a healthy way. Like, all
One
bad.
thing that I always tell clients to do is journaling helps a lot.
Yeah. And see, I've literally been told that so many times. And I really haven't forced myself. Like, when I was younger, there was an incident where one time I wrote some things down when I was very upset with my mom and siblings. And let's just say a few days passed, and my sister like showed my mom, and it was like this big ordeal. And like, for some reason, I keep thinking like, oh, can't even write anything down because,
That privacy.
yeah.
So yeah, this is really layered.
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on.
Layered because here's the thing too, with that incident, how that connects to the situation with the guys is even your body is not private for you. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you're just like, what the heck? Of course you're numb. You're like, what the heck? I have no control over anything. I have no privacy to my even own person.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
What you do, mama? Are you ready to take it back? Are you ready to take that power back, that control back?
Definitely. Yeah.
Like it's yours. And what they did to you doesn't change that. They didn't get the best out of you. They didn't take a chunk out of you. You are still whole. You are still full. I don't know what I'm talking about, so it must be the Holy Spirit or something. But you are still full.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're processing right now. Release it. The sessions are for you to release. Release it. Release it. I can take
Uh,
it. Come on.
I
Come on. I can
mean,
take your true thoughts. I can take it. Come on.
that's just weird.
And
I
you
mean,
can
I just
take it.
think it's, what'd you say?
And you can take it. I think you're afraid to think even what you know, like you're afraid to admit what you think. Hmm.
Um, I mean, I think it's crazy that you said that because I do feel like I keep saying like I do have pieces missing within me. Um, I just,
What do you mean when you say that?
like, mm, like those situations took parts of just stolen pieces of me that I like will never get back type, or um I guess the feeling, I guess that kind of explains how I've been feeling. Like I just been feeling empty, literally, like a ghost. Like I don't feel full, or I guess I should put quotations, but like I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like there's just Sy'miah's pieces of Sy'miah, like from Maryville, Missouri to KC to Ohio, where one of the guys are, just everywhere. And I'm just like, I don't even know how to put myself back together, I guess.
Mm. So how is your faith life?
Okay, then, so senior year, we had a small group. It was really good. Last semester, we were in First Peter, so a lot about suffering, and it was really, really like spot on with like what I was going through. But I would say since school has ended, I really haven't been doing my part in the relationship that I have with God. This past Tuesday, we went to a little service for college students. It was good. I definitely feel like moments God really did like talk to me, because like the pastor brought up First Peter in that um, sermon, and was my favorite verse from the small group. And just things that the pastor had said. But I really be connecting with God through music. Like I know at the end of the day, like I always can have music and obviously like my Bible, but I haven't even been doing that. I just feel like I think right now I wouldn't say I'm angry with him, but I'm definitely going through a different emotional cycle, I guess. Like I just feel like not why'd you let this happen, but like can you help direct me to where I'm supposed to go? Like what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get better? Like I'm tired of feeling this way. And yeah, so it's kind of where I'm at with my faith. Obviously, like still believe and I understand he's the miracle worker, I'm never gonna doubt that. But it's just like, hey, yeah, that's where I'm at.
So I totally get it. I totally get it. And it's a grieving process.
Mm-hmm.
And anger is a part of a grieving process. Depression is a part of a grieving process. Bargaining, if I do this, can you give me this piece of me back or whatever? Or if it's a lost one, bring them back to me. You're grieving.
Yeah.
And grieving is healthy. So what you think you're not processing, but you are. You're processing what happened to you. But just because you process what happened to you, mama, don't mean you're gonna be ready, right? Like is in the process may not look what you want it to look like, but you are processing, and God is with you. You wouldn't be on this call with me if God wasn't with you, honey. He told me before I even talked to you that you were sent to me. So I just pray, and I know that what came in the prayer before we started recording was mentoring. That you're needing a mentor right now, to help you with guidance through this time. I know a lot about grief. I've had a lot of loss in my life. I've experienced sexual assault, and those things. So I can relate to you. I'm not gonna say I fully understand, because I didn't go through exactly what you went through, but I can relate. And you're gonna come out of this better, stronger, and wiser, and you really will. And I know right now that might sound like so cliche, and sometimes we're just like, everybody says this, but you will, because God will get the glory out of it when you do. I want you to cry it out.
Yeah.
I want you to cry it out tonight or whenever. Take 2 days. You deserve the time to cry it out. You deserve the time to feel how you feel. You deserve the time to even go to God and say, God, I'm not feeling it right now. Why did this happen? How did this happen? What can I do better? Or not even just that, whatever you feel, like whatever questions are coming up for you. Because I don't want to tell you that, because like I said, it's not your fault by any means. But, where do I go from here? How do I heal? What are the areas that led me to this point, Lord, that I need to heal? What do I need to go over with Coach Lindsay? You know what I mean? Like, go to God and just be honest. I have definitely, so I had an elder when I lost my first baby. My firstborn, she passed. I was like 37 weeks. I was blood washed Christian. So I really was like, what, And I tell you that because I have had, and still do, because I still think about her all the time, times where I just say, I'm mad at you, God. I don't understand. I don't understand why you chose this. I don't understand why you allowed this. And sometimes it can be so hard for us to understand why he allows this pain and sorrow in our lives, our violation or betrayal. Like, so that's why when I tell you that you are validated, like in how you feel, and to feel that, God doesn't want us to be numb. He even says it in his word that he wants our hearts to be soft, not hardened. Right? He doesn't want us to be numb. He doesn't want us to not feel. But he doesn't also say that it's going to feel good all the time and that everything's going to be good. That's what us as Christians, we wish. And humans wish that too, right? Just everybody wishes it's just going to always be happy, go lucky, and it's not for nobody, So tell me, if we were to continue, how could I best support you? You froze. Are you still there? You froze. You're still frozen.
I don't know what happened. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. Okay, if you can just repeat what you said because it froze right when you started talking.
I was just thinking, like, I guess just help, like, guide me, like, in the right direction of like where supposed to be going, because I feel like I'm kind of like looking at both ways right now, and like I can go left and do things that I feel like will fulfill, but not really. Like I just want to make just go down the right path. Like I don't know.
Tell me the two paths. Name them.
Mm, um, so this path would be, I guess, the path to happiness, or like being able to feel things again that will last. So maybe lasting emotions, and then temporary emotions. Just doing things that won't really like satisfy me in the long run.
But they've comforted you before.
Yeah.
Is that why it's tempting to go back to them?
Hmm?
Is that why it's tempting to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
And what's on the road to lasting happiness?
Mm, I guess getting out whatever I need to get out would be like the first step. But I guess like finding myself again. I don't know. That's kind of like what I have envisioned. 'Cause I'm just not there right now.
Tell me about this self that you feel you lost. Tell me about her. Who is it that, and what parts of you do you feel like you lost?
Um, hmm, I feel like, cause like I mean, I have come from a very unique family situation. So like my life hasn't really been as sweet. But I mean, I understand life isn't sweet for everybody. But even in those times, like I was still able to be happy, like more days than not. And um and obviously feel emotions and not just become so like mad at the world, I guess. Or just so mm, I don't want to say losing hope. I'm like not losing hope, but I don't know. I still like woke up and looked forward to something, I guess. Like I was just like happy. And I guess now like people's perception of me is like, wow, Smile, like you're glowing. Like I went on vacation 2 weeks ago, Florida. Great time. And everyone's like, you're glowing, like you look so happy. And I'm like, no, like how? Like I'm like confused on how I look so, and really like I'm not. Yeah. So that's kind of what I think.
Depressed?
Hmm?
Do you think you're depressed?
Um, I don't know, because my junior year, I would say I was very like depressed. Like that was different. And I think that's why I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. Because like that was a very dark, dark, dark place. Like,
Mm.
and I promised myself like I would never go back to that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I'm like,
No longer there.
hmm?
You're no longer there.
Sorry, you cut out again.
you're no longer there at that level.
Yeah, definitely, because that was some crazy stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like no, I'm not, but I'm just kind of comparing different levels of darkness, I guess, right now.
It may be another level of depression, and depression also kind of comes and goes sometimes for people too. It
Mhm.
just depends on how long it's lasting. Because when you said you don't feel hopeless, but a lot of times when you do feel hopeless, it could be that
Mhm.
you could be just in a place where you're able to, like you said, counsel yourself out of it, which is another level, right? Like you're higher out of needing somebody that, like how you needed before,
Mhm.
counseling.
What'd you say? Right. I was just listening to you talk.
Okay. So you were saying, so then tell me, like, okay, because I definitely advise you to start journaling.
Okay.
Your mom and your sister aren't there,
Yeah.
right? So don't be worried about somebody seeing it or whatever. And if you need the lock one, then get the lock one or hide it in a secret place, whatever you need to do, put it in your phone. It doesn't have to be in a book, it can be in your phone.
Mhm.
You know, you can also journal and have recordings, right? So it doesn't have to be written down or even typed. You can record yourself just, journaling. And then you can listen back to it later and look back at it later.
Yeah. I never thought about the recording part.
Yeah. It may be better for you, more freeing for you. You know what I mean? I always
Mhm.
tell people to do what works for you. That's how I journal. I don't write it down.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, where you can just listen, and then most likely people aren't going to listen to your recordings because, they have no idea what you're talking about the whole time. Like, they're not. So I think you'll have your privacy there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How often? Every day?
Exactly. Yes, whenever you want.
Okay.
And for you, I would say you should do it ASAP as much as possible until you feel empty in a good way.
Yeah. Okay.
Empty.
Okay.
And I think what you're going to find is that you are actually full and you need it to release. Sometimes, too, what happens is we're so full that we can't receive more. So if you're not releasing those emotions, you're not allowing yourself. And if you're called to this kind of work too, you have to have a good just self-care regimen. Like you have to take really good care of yourself, meet your own needs, your own spiritual needs, your own mental needs, your own physical needs. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you still got to do something. you
Yeah.
know is what you're going through making you question any of that you feel like you were called to do before?
Um, I I don't really understand. Can you like?
Question. So, because you said you're going to start your master's program soon.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's very stressful right now. Like, it's very like I don't even know. And another part of it is it's like this wasn't what I planned, and then literally like last minute, like all these things just like worked out, and like I'll do another year of track, and yeah, it's just I don't know. I just really just been stressed out with like school and like making kind of questioning like if this is really like what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Do you want to do another year track?
And that's another thing. Track is not the most healthy environment. Like our coach is like, if not the worst person I know. So like, I don't know. That's another. It's just a lot of factors into that. So I don't know.
Do you need track probably to help pay for school?
Well, not this year, no, because I got a GA position that will pay for everything, and I'll get a stipend. So no, I don't
Okay.
need to do it.
So then what's keeping you?
Well, I just feel like I allowed, the situation to, it took over. I mean, like I didn't know, like I was just literally going through hell like my senior year of track. And I kind of feel like it took that experience away, and I just kind of wanted to do it again.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, yeah,
So
I
you're
don't know.
not doing it for somebody else. You're doing it for you.
Definitely, definitely. If I do decide to continue.
Okay. Well, that's a little better
Hmm.
because then that gives you your answer.
Yeah,
You want it to be a better experience. I mean, you can just leave it to be the experience that it is, though, as well, and move on and focus on other things that matter
yeah,
to you right now in your life, right? Like sometimes you just gotta leave the thing even, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's not gonna be a clean break. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Me talking in my I am not the sports person at all, but me talking in my little sports lingo that I think I know. But sometimes it's just, you know what I mean though? Like it's not gonna, sometimes you just gotta leave it how it
Mm-hmm.
was and it is what it is. And it may actually be less healing and more hurtful,
Hmm.
right? Like, because it's so much. And then, I mean, you can open the door to like PTSD too, because you're like going in the same space again, you know what I mean? With
Yeah,
the same people, you
yeah.
might want to leave that behind. You might, I would definitely say to pray about it. If you feel like you're doing it to prove a point, don't,
Hmm.
right? Like think about what your intention is because some things are better just left behind. You don't need it to pay for school, then I mean, you
Hmm.
really don't have to add on anything that won't help you heal, anything that'll add on just extra stress that you don't need. Being in a master's program is no joke.
Yeah.
So the last thing you need is added on unnecessary things. So I say definitely take personal inventory on that decision and pray. Okay, so I do have another session right after this.
Okay.
Do you want to continue? Do you want me to send you a link for the life coaching sessions? They're $100 a piece. But the other option I have is that you can get like excuse me, Beebly. Can you hold on just a second and I'll let you back in? Okay, thank you. So I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Never happened before. Never bad. But so yeah, I can send you that, and I also have packages.
Okay. Yeah. You